The aim of our project was to investigate the effect of light of different colors on the degree of aggression of male Betta splendens, also known as the Siamese fighting fish. So let me give you a brief background on Betta splendens. These fighting fish will flare their gills in order to appear more impressive to intimidate their rivals or when startled by movement. We wanted to use these results to allow fighting fishes to coexist in a tank without fighting, thus putting into use for fish hobbyists who want to put their fishes into the same tank, saving space in their homes. The results could also be used to help save space in fish shops, as Betta splendens tend to take up a whole shelf, if not shelves, in fish stores. Our research has shown that light has a huge influence on fishes, including their production of hormones and growth, and that color has also been proven to influence emotions and feelings. Therefore, our hypothesis was that red would induce the highest level of aggression and blue would induce the lowest.
Our setup was as such. We used two warm colors, red and yellow, two cool colors, blue and green, the control, white, and a setup where there was no light. We also ensured that the water was dechlorinated, as chlorine in excess has been shown to have adverse effects on the fish's health. The colored lights were switched on for 9 hours from Monday to Friday and switched off over the weekends to allow the fishes to rest, thus preventing any unwanted problems. The test for their aggression was the mirror test. This is the setup for the mirror test. A mirror was lowered into the tank while the fighting fishes, and the number of times it flares was taken down. Male Betta splendens are known to show aggressive display when it sees another of its own kind and spark off an attack, including reflections or models of another Betta splendens. Therefore, this mirror test, which provided conditions when two fighting fishes were faced with each other, was a good gauge of their level of aggression. And we took this test 3 times weekly, each lasting 5 minutes.
Our results eventually showed, as seen in the graphs, that red turned out to be the most aggressive, followed by the absence of light, white light, yellow, blue, and finally green, which induced the lowest level of aggression. So our initial research that red would induce the highest level of aggression due to its strong aggressive influence on humans and non-humans, as well as its high intensity, which will affect testosterone levels, turns out to be reflected in this experiment. While the cool colors, such as green, which had a more calming effect, did indeed induce a lower level of aggression. During our recordings, we actually observed a drop in the number of flares after day 15. As seen in the graph, there was a steep drop. After more research, we deduced that this could be due to classical conditioning, which is when the subject is accustomed to a stimuli and thus does not react to it as openly as it did before. We also discovered that the absence of light had an effect on the aggression, even though we were not expecting that. We deduced later that the sudden introduction of light after being exposed to darkness after a long time was likely to cause the aggression in the fishes.
An extension to our project, which we could and have worked on, is to further investigate how classical conditioning could affect the aggression of the Betta splendens and account for the sudden decrease during the experiment. During our research, we found out that classical conditioning is a situation when two stimuli are presented in close succession repeatedly, till one response becomes associated with the other. In this case, different components of our setup became different factors which allowed the Betta splendens to be classically conditioned. Firstly, we had the neutral stimulus, which was the Betta splendens reflection in the mirror, which did not attack the subject. Unconditioned stimulus, which was the presence of another Betta splendens, and unconditioned response to this stimulus, which was the Betta attacking the other Betta. Thus, due to the constant association of the reflection of the Betta splendens and it not attacking the subject, the Betta splendens in study was conditioned to not attack other Bettas anymore, thus leading to a decrease in the degree of aggression. Another proposed experiment to further investigate classical conditioning is to test how long it takes to classically condition a Betta splendens, as well as whether the result is replicable. Therefore, we can have 8 tanks of Betta splendens placed under similar conditions and have 2 tanks checked daily for aggression, 2 tanks checked weekly, and 2 tanks checked fortnightly with 2 for control. The final result, if we would carry out this experiment, would allow us to further understand how classical conditioning can affect the Betta splendens level of aggression. Why a project on fighting fish? Why not something related to humans that has a direct impact on the betterment of human life? Well, the results of our experiments can also be applied onto other species of animals, especially those which are unable to safely carry out similar experiments on, such as lions and tigers. This experiment could also be used as a basis on determining how certain colors of light can affect human emotions and thus better human life.